so pleased to have Michele Landers here, who is going to welcome in February and give us the monthly forecast. Michele, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you so much, Ruth. It's always so much fun to do these monthly interpretations, although we just started them, but I'm really glad to share the information. And I always want to share the information because I want it to be uplifting and inspirational for people, so they know what energies they're working with for this month, for this year, for this month. And also, if people want to, they can email me at michellelanders at bellsouthnet.net. I can put them on my newsletter list, and they can get their personal month reading for that month. But at any rate, so wow, this is quite a year. And I didn't know I would be saying that, because last year was, whoa, that was quite a year. And in doing the numbers, I noticed that we're still carrying some of that 4-year baggage over to 2021. And I just want to suggest to people, excuse me, some of the energy for this year. We really want to move into the incredible energy of change, and the also very, very spiritual energy of 7. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the world energy and a little bit about the energy for the United States. How does that sound?
That sounds fabulous.
Okay. So, excuse me. As I mentioned last month about the world is in a 5 cycle, and that's so easy to figure out. You just add the 2 and 2021 together. 2 + 2 is 4, and 1 is 5. So that means that the entire planet is under this energy of the number 5, which is about change, about restlessness, about quick movement. It's a really, really fast-paced journey that we're on this year worldwide. It's quite exciting, but it's also unpredictable. A lot of events will happen suddenly and quickly, and things will go from bad or challenging, excuse me, as I like to say, to good, and good to challenging, and back and forth. But the one really wonderful thing about a 5-year energy is that by the end of the year, everything starts working out perfectly. So you have this up and down, up and down, up and down. But by the end of the year, you see how things will fall into place. So that's going to be true for the world. It's also going to be true for the United States as well. So we have the opportunity this year to make a course correction. And I just want to keep reinforcing that that's going to be harder and more difficult to do if we are holding on to the energy of last year in our minds, because the truth is we are, all of us, co-creating our experiences together, day by day, moment by moment, second by second. So if we have a world that's full of energy of worrying and concern and, oh my goodness, what happened last year, that is not going to bode well for us in this new year. New year, new energy. So as much as possible, we want to flow into that. Okay, so for the USA, we're in the mystical number 7, and the big rewards of the number 7 have nothing to do with material aspects. And that doesn't mean that you stop working. It doesn't mean that you don't advertise or you don't do any of the things that you need to do to make money, but primarily, and the energy for this year is kind of forcing us to make sure that our spiritual life, or whatever it is, our connection to the divine, our connection to God, whatever it is, whatever your higher power is, that connection needs to come first. Now, the truth is, my belief is that's the way it should be all the time. But this energy this year is kind of coercing us into that direction even more, saying, please, you must do that. If we want to heal the world, if we want to heal the United States, we must do that. We must get our priorities straight. We must understand that there is a spiritual energy working in our lives all the time, and we are being requested or tapped on the shoulder or maybe hit in the head with a 2x4. I don't know, but it's asking us to please pay attention to that. So with that, and I always want to remind people of that. So the world for February, and this is a month of love, and that's why I'm wearing pink. And I didn't have anything that was really red that I could find. So I pulled pink because I think that's a little bit of a softer version of sweetness and light and love. And that's what I am feeling today. And that's one of the things I wanted to share. So although the year 2021, now this is for the world, is a 5 energy, which is fast moving and rushing about, what it's coming up against is February is a 7 personal month for the world. So what does that mean? That means it's really introspective. And even though the world is changing, it's really trying to adjust to this new normal. And just know that things are working beneath the surface. And that's usually what a 7 is about. It's an inward number. It's very spiritual. So there's a lot more, I believe, and we'll see how this pans out, but I absolutely believe there's much more research going on that we are not even aware of worldwide, because there is this maybe belief or this interest in finding out more about these viruses and what we need to do about it to prevent that in the future, or do the best we can to combat them. So I do believe that there's a lot more research going on, and they're learning new things about this virus. So the month leans worldwide towards more introspection, especially how it relates to spirituality. And so that's what we want to do in the world. Energy is moving in that direction: introspection, research, awareness. So that's just a brief little snippet of the world. So what about for the United States? So the United States is in a 7-year, all year long. But for February, if you add 2 to the month of 7, what do you get? You get 9. Very interesting, those two numbers coming up against one another. So again, underneath the surface, a lot of communication. So things that were stopped before, whatever that means, are going to move forward. There's going to be more action and quick movement. And some things from the past are going to show up this month, and I'm not sure how exactly what that's going to look like, but something from the past is going to show up, and it's going to be kind of short-lived, and then it'll be let go of. So we have to step back a little bit, and we might be saying, the energy might be, I can't deal with this anymore. Well, you don't have to deal with it anymore. Okay, this is a new time, new energy, and understanding the number 9. The number 9 is universal. It's far-reaching. It's wide-reaching. It's about humanity. It's about helping. It's about healing. It's about letting go. So what do we have to let go of? And as we began this conversation, what we have to let go of is the past. It's time for us to really accept things as they are and not try to fight what's happening, or or to be anxious about the future. This, for all intents and purposes, this is the new reality. And this month is asking us to settle into that reality. And also, not only settling into the reality, not in a resigned way, not in a resignation, but more of a surrender to, and saying, and almost, I don't know how this will sit with people, but to surrender to it and embrace it as well. Because it is only by accepting what is and surrendering to what is and opening up to what is will we get the opportunity to change things and to get more creative. We are being urged, and I can't stress this enough, Ruth, we are being urged to see our world in 180-degree in a different way, 180 degrees removed from the way we've been seeing it. And that is, again, putting our connection to the divine, or whatever you consider your higher power, God, spirituality, and to think about new ways on how we can do our lives individually, whether that is a new way of living, a new way of working, and most importantly, to put our focus on how we can help and uplift others. And especially this month. I mean, it's going to come around again this year, that energy, but especially this month. This is about embracing the world, embracing others, uplifting others, and really spend a lot of time in thinking about, hey, what can I do? We all have talents and gifts that we were given. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. How can I utilize those talents and gifts to uplift others? So it's such a far-reaching number, and it's such a humanitarian number that it's a calling for us this month, and it's a requirement this month if we really want to embrace the energy of it and have the month go well for us and be uplifting and inspirational. That's where we need to put our energy. So I do think, on another note, that there's going to be more for those who are interested in getting the vaccine. I know some people, they don't want it, but for those who are interested in getting the vaccine, there's going to be a lot more vaccines released this month. So I know we're heading in that direction. And as much as possible, pray, pray, and pray. Meditate, meditate, and meditate. And if you're a person who finds it difficult or challenging to meditate, okay, then at least what I would ask you is to watch your thoughts. Cleanse your thoughts as often as you can. Think thoughts of healing. And this month, very appropriately, for the heart-centered month of February, give, love, love, love. And that's the overriding energy for this month. And if you have thoughts that pop into your head of fear or anxiety or worry, and again, if you're not a person who meditates, then simply say the words cancel, clear. Whenever you have these negative or challenging thoughts, just say cancel, clear, and have a thought of something that is more uplifting, or put on some music. Or if you can't do that, then just call to mind, maybe have a memory that of something really heartfelt, or think of your kids or your dog or a friend or whatever it is. Think of something that you really love and keep that in the forefront of your mind, because that's what this month is about. It definitely is in such alignment with February, the month of love, and the number 9, which is far reaching. So how does that sound, and what questions might you have, Ruth, or does anybody else have?
When we switched from January to February, it felt like a jet was landing without the wheels down. I mean, it was like a rough entry. And is there a reason for that, number wise?
You broke up a little bit, so if you could repeat that.
Yeah, the switch from January to February, it felt like a jet landing without wheels down. It just felt like
wow.
a rough entry.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
don't know if that was just me personally or if there's numbers attached to why that might be that way.
Yeah, well, the 7 and the 9 and the 5, now those are all odd numbers, right? Now, excuse me. Odd numbers usually resonate very well with one another. You know, odd numbers go with odd numbers, even go with even numbers. But those are really very strong, energetic numbers that kind of vie for position at times, if that makes sense. So the 5 is about change. The 7 is no, 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 you got to go inward. The 9 is I want to embrace everybody. So we have these numbers at work, and all that energy is like little bubbles popping up all the time, popping, popping, popping. So it would make sense that from the energy of January, that going into February, it might be a little bit, I mean, that's a really good analogy, a little bit of a rough landing, but things will start to smooth out, you know, especially towards the middle of the month. So does
Okay.
that kind of answer your question?
Yep, that's great news. Great news. And I love what you were saying about not being anxious about the future, but surrendering and accepting and embracing this reality, because only when we're embracing it can we then work within that energy and, you know, make tweaks or make changes or move on from there. So that was beautiful advice. Thank you.
Um, the 7, oh, I'm so sorry. The 7 year, which again, the United States is in, that calls for what I have said over and over again. It's more of an inward focus, and it's more alone time. And I really, you know, hesitated to say that, but it happens to be true. So this isn't going away. You know, there are some people who thought that, oh my God, by, you know, January, February, this is going to be gone, or March. And even when I was looking at the numbers last year, I said, yeah, well, that could be, but I knew that 7 energy was going to be so strong. It was still going to be pulling us not only inward, but spending time alone. So what does that look like? You know, when you're spending more time alone, and that's the energy for the whole United States, and then the change of the planet. So it's not going away. This well, I'm not sure how to, I don't want to say the pandemic is not going away, because I do believe it is, but it's going to be a slow retreat. Maybe that's what I want to say. It's going to be a slow retreat. And there's going to be a lot of this. But how do we deal with that? We just surrender, as we were just saying, we surrender into it and we embrace it and we say, okay, so there must be something for me to learn from all of this, because really, what is it all about, right? And you and I subscribe to the belief, and I know many people do, that this is a classroom and we're always learning. And the more we're attentive, the better students we are and learn the lessons, the easier the lessons become. And that's what's so important about this 7 energy. It's embracing it, surrendering to it, and saying, okay, I'm here. Tell me what I need to do. I'm a willing student. I want to learn. I want to grow spiritually. I want to be more in tune with the energy of everyone of this planet to heal it, because God knows right now we are on the precipice of things changing in a big way. So, what do we need to do? We need to come together. These aren't just words, they are actions that we need to take. So, again, this month, pray, 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 meditate, think happy thoughts, embrace the energy, and say, okay, so I'm here, I'm showing up, and I'm going to think about my gifts and my talents and what I have to share with the world, and how that can uplift the world, how it can uplift others, even if it's just one other person. How can you step outside of yourself, and how can you bring whatever talent or energies you have to others? And that's the big message for this month.
I think that's beautiful, Michelle, and a good reminder that some of our folks aren't out doing things in a big way to do things for folks. And some folks are at home, but they can pray, they can hold somebody else up in love. And that's a beautiful gift to give to others. It doesn't have to be big. You don't have to come have a show on EWN. You don't have to write a book. You don't have to start a website, but just hold somebody else in love.
I love that. And one of the things that I say quite frequently is there are no lofty or lonely goals or careers or talents or gifts. They're all important. They're all important. There are no lofty or lowly jobs. They're all important. And I know I repeat this over and over again, but if you love to make ice cream, and then be the best damn ice cream maker, because people will come and they will be blessed by your gift. So you don't have to. When I say change the world, individually, when we change ourselves and we help another person, we are in effect changing the world. That's how you change the world. It's just one person at a time. When you're going on a journey, how do you reach whatever your goal is or wherever you're going? It's one small, beautiful step at a time. And every step and everything that you do it with great love, because that will be felt and that will change the world. And that's what we are, so many of us are stepping into that energy of wanting to bring more love. When we're never, ever, ever going to achieve peace by warring. It's just not, it's fighting a losing battle. We will never achieve peace by fighting or warring. So that's what I would suggest and encourage people to do, to be vulnerable. Vulnerable isn't being a doormat. Vulnerable is opening yourself up to love, to accepting it, to let your defenses down. You don't have to react. If somebody says something critical, you don't have to react. I posted something last week that I thought, it was Tiny Buddha, I think, or something like that. And it shows these two little Buddha figures, and one's or monk figures, and one says something like, that robe is funny looking. And the other monk says, thank you. You don't have to respond you don't have to be in defense. You don't have to defend your position. That's not necessary, because that adds to the negative energy. When you respond negatively, when you respond in defense, then you're just adding to that warring energy. And again, that doesn't mean you're being a doormat. Hold your space, your energy, and bless them.
Michelle, a thought comes to mind, which I have heard in meditation several times, which is, let all that is not love fall away.
I love that. I love that. Absolutely. Oh, how beautiful is that? And what is not love? Anything that is critical or harsh or challenging. If we meet all with love, it changes ourselves. And when we change ourselves, that moves outward into the universe and it changes others as well. So I can think of nothing better. I love that.
I think that's summing up February. Let all that is not love fall away.
I think that's perfect, Ruth. I really do think that's perfect. So it'll be interesting to see how this month evolves, and I think it's going. I think it's going to go well. And again, there'll be some ups and downs, but I do think that things are opening up more. That doesn't mean that we may be going out a little bit more, but I still would say, I still feel that energy of staying home as much as possible. We're not quite ready to go out into the world yet, and it'll be a little while, and it'll be up and down. But for this month, it is very appropriately all about love and giving to others and tuning into your divine connection.
Pretty perfect, Michele. If people want to know more about you and your numerology work and the other things that you bring into the world, how do they find you?
MichelleLanders.com. And Michele is with one L, Michele, Landers, LANDERS.com. And I'm open to, on my website, you can find a place where you can get a free 15-minute consultation with me. Whatever it is you want to run by me, I'm open to it. I'm happy to do that. And we'll be doing something, right? We're going to talk about doing a numerology workshop on EWN. So I'm excited about that. And I hope people stay tuned to that, because numbers are incredibly insightful. And we know that the whole world is built upon numbers. There is nothing that isn't measured or recorded, or we use numbers for calculations all the time. And numbers, like everything on this planet, like everything else, musical notes, that it all has energy about it. So starting to understand the numbers and your personal numbers can be incredibly helpful and insightful. I mean, it changed my world without a doubt, without a doubt. And I know that it's helpful for other people, because sometimes we get into this place where we go, oh my God, is this ever going to end? And I assure you, yes, everything comes to an end, the good and the bad, the good and the bad. It's like a pendulum. However, when you're able to understand what the numbers are for you for that particular year, or in a larger sense for your life, when you know what your gifts are that you came into this life with and your purpose, I think it makes life a lot easier. And when you know the gifts and the challenges of every year, I think it's much easier to navigate through the year. So you can go, oh, right, I see why that's happening. Like personally, I'm in a 2-year right now, and but I was prepared for it. And it started off amazingly, just in perfect harmony with that too, which is I need to have patience. It can be a little bit confusing. Sometimes I can find myself up against some challenges, which the year absolutely started that way. But it was really easy for me to work through those challenges, because I said, well, that's what the year is about. So don't get don't think, oh my God, what does this mean? Why is that not happening the way I want? 2 years patience, Michelle. So just you'll get through it. It'll be fine. And there's lessons in it for you, and there's gifts in it for you. So learn the lesson, get the gift. Learn the lesson, get the gift.
I love that, Michelle. So really just having that blueprint in front of you can actually relieve a lot of stress.
Yeah, it certainly does for me. And I know for my clients, it does too. You kind of know, okay, well, right, that's all right. But these are the good things that come along with that number. There's challenges, but again, learn the lesson, get the gift. So it works out pretty well, I think.
Excellent. Michelle, I love February. You have helped me shift my thinking on the month. And I'm looking forward to these shows that you are doing with me the first day of every month this year. It's a beautiful gift that you are giving to us, and I thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much. I love Enlightened World Network, and you are doing so much for this planet. God bless you for that, Ruth. Really, thank you. And everybody who's, I know, works so hard to contribute to it. You know, it's a blessing to this world, which we need right now.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Michelle. Thanks for being here. So friends, thank you for participating with us today, whether you're watching it live or on a replay. We so appreciate you and everything that you're doing in the world to make the world a better place. So thank you for being here. God bless and take good care. Bye now.